How you doing, everybody? This is Freddy Rodriguez.
And I am Wilmer Valderrama, and this is Dos Amigos. Dos Amigos.
Yes,
As always, we reflect on what we're sipping on. What do you got on?
I make a little tea. It consists of turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, a little bit of lemon, real lemon juice. I have a lemon tree in my front yard. Apple cider vinegar. It's a little concoction of
That's
stuff
like
that I do.
it just kind of kept going.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. There's about 5 different things in here.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing.
It's good for inflammation.
Yeah. Have
It's
you
good for
ever
the
done the
gut,
cacao thing? Like the
No.
drinking the raw cacao kind of
No.
tea.
What is that?
It's supposed to also help with that mood stabilizer. It's supposed to be like really great for circulation and all that stuff. But the raw cacao is something that's like a power drink. You know, it kind of tastes just like hot chocolate, but a lot more raw cacao than hot chocolate. You know.
Do you do it on a regular?
I used to do it almost weekly, and then I ran out and never replenished it. But
You can go back on Amazon?
No. Like my bro, Jonathan Tucker, who's an incredible actor, an amazing friend, and one of the most special individuals I know.
Yeah.
He definitely, he lives by it. It's like cacao, the cacao is his power drink. It's a thing that kind of, is it
caffeinated? Is it?
Yeah, I think it has a little caffeination, but it's like it's a booster. It's really really magical actually. If you look at the properties and all that stuff, it's very healing and circulation and it's really interesting.
I gotta check it out. Lion's Mane. Remember we had the Lion's Mane conversation.
I actually just bought some more.
You did?
Yeah. So maybe for the next episode, our listeners
see
will
Wilmer
go
like
into a
this.
trip, into a journey with us.
He'll be super focused.
I can show you. I want to show you what I got because I think you would like it.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, we took a couple of, I guess maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I didn't see you. I text you. I was having some.
Did you miss me?
Yes, dude. I've grown emotionally dependent of our conversations.
It's because you don't have any brothers.
That's exactly what. I do now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Absolutely. But I was analyzing. And
For those of you who are listening to this, I'm doing the little googly eyes, anime googly eyes when I say what I do now.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. I received that, man. You have no brothers, and I have no younger brothers. And my 2 brothers are a lot older than me, so I very much grew up alone. So
yeah.
Thus the
I was
connection.
a lone wolf.
Wilmer, what are you doing?
Lone wolf. Hey, Freddy, do you sometimes think of me? So, speaking of, missing our conversations. What has been the feedback on the podcast for you?
Oh man, so incredibly positive. I had a cousin who I don't really speak to, not for any particular reason, but she lives in New York. I live here. And she was saying that the podcast that we had on mental health helped her so much, and it really resonated with her. And I thought, wow, here's someone who I barely speak to who felt the need to reach out to me and to tell me that.
Right.
But people are having fun. I think they're having fun just kind of listening to it. I think people are sort of feeling like that, like they're in the third chair, the third amigo here. And so,
they're at dinner with us.
Yeah, man. So it's been pretty positive.
Yeah, no, same here. And I think that this is for those who are listening or for those who are watching.
Yeah.
I just want to say we're so grateful.
Yes.
We see you guys participating. You see you sharing the clips.
Yeah.
And we're just so grateful. We made this for you. And I think partially for us, we also wanted and needed this. But yeah, really, really excited that's working. And so this is our moment to say thank you to all of our amazing fans and the audiences that are discovering the show. As always, we love your feedback. Tell us, find us on Instagram, find us on all the platforms or Facebook, wherever we're at. Ask us questions. If there's themes, if there's conversations, is there things that you want us to discuss? We'd love to, we'd love to dive into it in future episodes.
Absolutely.
So if for those of you in the audience, who would like to communicate with us and send us some, subjects or conversations or topics that you like for us to deep dive on, you can DM us at Those Amigos Talk on Instagram, or you can email us at, Leo, what is it?
dosamigostalk@gmail.
dosamigostalk@gmail.com. Anyhow, moving on to our today's episode, we wanted to make it a different episode. We wanted to do something a little, just kind of draw us out the line a little bit. How does it work, Leo? How does this blunt rotation work?
What do you know about blunts?
Yeah, exactly. By the way, what is a blunt?
Yeah, Leo.
A blunt is. Let me define it.
I'm assuming a blunt rotation is when somebody is sharing a smoking device. And it goes around the room, and every time someone holds it, something is supposed to be said. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of, yeah. It's more or less just saying, like, if you had a room full of people, who do you want there? Who do you want in that circle?
Oh, in that circle.
Who and what are they bringing to the rotation?
Okay. Speaking of blunts, though, I can actually, this is hilarious because when on 70 Show we used to have this circle downstairs in the basement, and everyone was like,
"That was a cool segment.
Are you guys smoking it, la la la?" And we and to be honest, like you never saw us smoking. Like there was this mysterious smoke in the room. We thought it was just the refrigerator overheating and just like creating some smoke downstairs.
Network TV, baby.
So we never addressed the smoke in the room, as they say. So I don't know what that is. I also I hate to be the boring guy, but I've never smoked in my life.
You've never smoked? You never smoked weed?
Yeah, I never smoked weed. And nothing. Obviously, I have nothing against it or anything. But it's just for some reason I was too busy learning how to speak English, and I think I never dabbled on it at all. But going back to the full circle of this thing, how many people should we pick? 3, or is it like as many people in the circle as we want?
I'm gonna just throw off different archetypes of people, and let's see who ends up passing that blunt.
Okay. For those of you who are listening to Leo's voice, he is our lead producer. He's also the head of our podcast division at WV Sound, which is our podcast company. But anyways, Leo, so I've never done it. I've never done it.
I can't smoke weed. I get paranoid.
You do?
Yeah.
What's that? What
like
comes
severely
to mind?
paranoid.
Oh, really? Like what comes to mind? How does it?
I don't relax. It's the opposite. Some people smoke because it makes them relax. It does the absolute opposite. It makes me anxious. It gets me paranoid. I can't sit. I don't know. Maybe I'm a control freak. I don't know. Maybe because I'm always hustling. I've had kids at such a young age, so I always had to be responsible. And so my brain goes to this other place that is not comfortable.
Wow.
I mean, and no matter what, like I've tried gummies to sleep, because sometimes I suffer from insomnia and even anything.
You mean the cannabis gummies?
The cannabis gummies, yeah. Anything with THC, like whether it's smoking or like it just doesn't it doesn't agree with me.
Right.
And I've had people say to me, "Oh, you're just smoking the wrong strain. It's sativa versus whatever the other one is, And I've tried it on, and it all affects me the same. So it just my body doesn't agree with it.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I would. The only thing that I can relate it to for me is if I have too much caffeine, I'm having this anxiety, like something bad's gonna happen. Something bad's gonna happen. Like I can't.
How many cups a day do you drink?
Let's see. I think not that many, but I like, for example, when I'm at work, I'll do one in the morning. I'll do one in the afternoon. And then in the evening, I kind of crave a cappuccino after dinner, and I'll just have a cappuccino, and I'll still go to sleep. Yeah.
I'm one. That's it. If I'm working like a 14-hour day, maybe one after lunch, but otherwise I'll stay up.
Dude, by the way, I did a movie in Italy, and the whole entire crew was an Italian crew. And it was an espresso festival on set.
Like, what do you mean? Like how?
Like the crafty where they would have all the snacks and the breads and like the chips or whatever. It's like in every production and every set, when you're shooting, they have a designated corner where they have the snacks for everybody, on the set. So while during the day you can make yourself a sandwich, you can grab a snack or whatever. In Italy, they have straight up an espresso machine.
Like a cart or something?
No,
or
no, no. Like
someone
like a
doing it there?
dedicated espresso machine, not like a drip coffee or like
Yeah.
a regular coffee drip or whatever.
But is somebody making it, or do you have to make it yourself?
You can make it yourself, but mostly
gotcha.
they have somebody making you an espresso shot, and like they do the espresso shot, and they put like how many teaspoons of sugar, and it's like the coffee this little.
Right.
They're like, okay, one, I guess, and put the sugar. They put it's like liquid candy. So I was shooting this movie, and dude, I ended up having like 5 or 6 of those a day.
Damn. Was it like rocket fuel?
It was more than rocket fuel. My performance in that movie is incredible.
My performance is incredible. It's Oscar worthy.
It's incredible. The movie is called A Sudden Case of Christmas.
Right.
And it's from the director.
The Hulu. The Hulu.
Yeah, and the movie is directed by the director of Serendipity, and it was Danny DeVito and Lucy DeVito.
Yeah.
And Antonella, and so I got an incredible cast, Andy McDowell and Jose Zuniga, and just a bunch of amazing homies, right?
But your performance was
my
10.
performance was so good, bro. And I also had to play the paranoid dad, too, so it really worked. But anyways, back to this, the passing of the blunt. So Leo, what is a blunt rotation? Like, what is that? How does that work? What is that metaphor? What does that mean?
It's something those Gen Zers are kind of trying to.
Oh, it's on fire in the Gen Z.
Yeah,
Okay.
Blunts are back with Gen Z?
I don't know if blunts are back, but the saying is back. Is here.
Did that just sound like an old man saying that?
Wait, blunts are back? Blunts are back? Is that what the kids are doing that again? There goes the neighborhood.
But it's kind of like, it's essentially just like a prompt of being like, oh, that person has the vibes that they would be someone fun I'd want to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
So blunt rotation is like the hangout with people that you want to share something with, right? So like
exactly, it could be like people, like animals, like anything.
Okay.
So I'm gonna list off different archetypes of things.
All right, let's go. I get it.
You get it? Cool.
Yes, let's do it.
To start, which childhood TV character would you want at the circle? Would they be bringing snacks? What are they bringing? What are they bringing to the table? Why would you want them there?
Childhood TV character.
I would say I hate to be this predictable.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna go with childhood characters, I would probably say Desi Arnaz, because I feel like he would have so many crazy stories. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about someone else, but I don't know. Like my childhood characters are super predictable. I would say Desi Arnaz. I bet he has some crazy stories, and he'd probably talk about his Cuba days. And
right.
That could be really interesting to me.
Wow, that's a really good question. Trying to think of like what shows when I was a kid resonated enough with me. God, what did I watch when I was a kid? Like Chips.
Punch. That'd be cool too.
I just, what's always fascinating to me whenever I meet those actors, like in real life, like I just always want to know what, like how was it for you back then? Like I just always want to know what their journey was,
right,
and compare it to my journey. So I'd love to just have a bunch of old school like Latin guys who came before us, like you said, like Desi, right?
Yeah.
And go, what was that like, man? I mean, we kind of know the surface stories, right? We know but I want some inside stuff that I haven't heard yet, and I want to compare it to my own journey.
Yeah. I bet, it'd be cool, Stallone.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about childhood, hero, like that dude is incredible. Yeah. Stallone would have some cool stories, a lot of Studio 54 stories.
Studio 54.
You know what I mean?
What's interesting about Stallone is that, because of the way he sounds, right, for lack of a better term, I think that people would be quick to write him off. But like, what's so amazing to me that I learned as I got older was like, he won an Oscar for writing. He stepped behind the camera and he directed and he acted in it and he did it all.
Yeah.
Right when everyone told him that he couldn't do it, and he was like, screw it, I am going to do it.
Yeah.
I would love to know like what gave him the balls to do that.
Yeah.
Also,
speaking of courage and audacity, Arnold Schwarzenegger. like his mentality, his mental strength, and for competition, and how he never let competition died in his heart. It's still right now. He's in Venice trying to outlift the other guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I think that'd be a really cool one.
You know who I would like on there? I'd like Anthony Hopkins. I just saw The Remains of the Day, that movie the other day. He's one of those few actors that just continually just blows me away by his subtlety.
Right.
I remember I worked with Alan Rickman. I did 2 movies with Alan Rickman, and he said something to me that was so profound. And he goes, yeah, Freddie, you know, like when you when you send that message from your brain to the body, and then your body reacts. And I'm like, what message are you talking about, man? And like, I wanted to get so much deeper into sort of his process mentally and while he's in the moment.
Right.
And I watch Anthony Hopkins, and I know that he's doing the same thing, you know? I know that he's sending those messages to his body, and he's so relaxed in his performances.
And to your point, he's so in tune with the effort. How much effort does he really, really, really need when he's leaning into conviction, drive?
Yeah. You think he's doing nothing, but he's doing everything, dude. Man.
Yeah.
That's an incredible. Look, we could sit here all day as actors and scream and do all that, and we're like, "Oh, that was awesome take, right?" Like, because we.
And then
did
he comes in and he's like,
"Yeah."
You're like, oh my God.
Blow like, all of us out the water.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But people like that, I just want to know, like, what makes them tick, like what, so to get them in the circle and explain their secrets.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to add another person to the circle.
Yeah.
A fictional villain.
What,
like, who's coming through? What are they talking about? Are they deep? Are they misunderstood?
I mean, there's like a few that come to mind. I would say it just depends what we want from that circle,
Right.
Because it could be really messy.
A fictional villain.
I'd say that, like, someone that I think would be really interesting is Heath Ledger's Joker. Because that's a conversation. It's not a villain that's just coming in and tossing cars apart and, like, you know what I mean? And, like, it's like somebody who will come in and we'll sit down and talk about a philosophy from an angle of righteousness, not an angle of just like pure foolery, right? I think he would give you a reason that you would almost buy.
Yeah,
right?
some heavy justification in there.
Yeah. I think Heath Ledger's Joker will be an interesting villain to have there.
Joaquin Phoenix's Joker would be. I've seen that.
That'd be an uncomfortable circle.
Yeah, but like what makes him tick? Like what? Because it's so different, right? It's so much more rooted in reality. His relationship with his mother, all of that would be so interesting to just. And again, all of it is justification, I think, for what they do. It's always justified by something.
I mean, I can also picture the two of us just sitting there and watching those two jokers talk to each other.
Right.
I mean, imagine that. Just those two guys just kind of reasoning on where it went wrong, where it took a turn.
Yeah.
What happened that made them have the outlook on life, or most importantly, exercise their own version of justice, because none of them are just being evil. They're performing justice in a different angle, in a different way.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to think about that stuff to me.
Yeah, and so much resolve and so much belief in what they're doing, right? Because that's what it takes to, like, go to those extents. You got to really believe in what you're doing and what you're trying to put out there in order to be able to do that, right? Which is a lot of leaders in the world, right? They wouldn't be doing what they're doing unless they really believed it.
Is the Joker the best villain of all time?
I mean, Who's
the
better?
character itself.
Who's better?
Right.
Who's better?
I mean, it has survived 40 years or 50 years of pop culture, right? Like it's still one of the biggest threats any subliminal character or metaphorical character can go through.
Why do you think that is?
I think that character very early on tapped into a little bit of humanity's insanity. I think at some point it triggered an emotion and where humanity thought maybe we all have a little bit of Joker inside of us.
Right.
I mean,
and that's a superpower,
right? Yeah.
He doesn't fly. He doesn't
have superpower. Whatever. A person can be like you and me, and it's the Prince of Chaos.
Right.
Right. But we all have these thoughts, right? Like some of us we're never going to be villains, right? But I think that psychologically, I think about that maybe it's because it kind of tapped into something that what if humanity had chosen insanity?
Right.
Right? Like maybe there is this, and none of us probably have the courage to go that far ever, right? Like, and I know for a fact I would never be able to even think that way. But there is something about seeing it play out, you know?
Yeah.
And the many stories of the Joker, I mean, of that character, kind of like creates this incredibly colorful look through a viewfinder, through a different lens of humanity that all of us never thought would be a perspective that we could even sympathize with.
Right.
And the early renditions is like, I just want to create chaos and, you know, and try to kill the bat.
Right.
But over time, that character's philosophy for that became probably a lot more overlayer, a lot more in depth. And I think like someone like, you know, like Heath Ledger or, you know, even the 90s Batman that Mark Hamill voiced, the Joker, you know, that cartoon that Mark Hamill of which, by the way, beautiful, one of the best performances of all time when it comes to a Joker character. Mark Hamill embodies something that was just so unhinged yet contained. And the way he would use the words as the weapon, that to me felt like, wow, the way he would sing-song it and use the words as the daggers, not the fist, not the weapon, you know, but the way he would poetically describe the chaos he was there to deliver was something I've never been able to forget.
Really, man, I remember hearing it a couple of times, but not enough to still have that.
One of my favorites. I mean,
really?
And his laugh. Everybody that does a version of Joker is trying to mimic his laugh. And
really?
Yeah. Mark Hamill, he was one of those guys that definitely did a good job with it. Any other? I feel like Joker's feels like one of the most interesting, but I'm wondering if anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, because Joker is the most grounded one, right? Like I said, everyone else has like superpowers, and so then once it goes there, it's elevated into this sort of fantasy realm, right? Where the Joker is more grounded, and you're like, oh, something like that could potentially happen,
right?
I mean, all the classics, right? Like Darth Vader, you know, like
my God,
you know.
Hey man, you knew you had a son somewhere.
Yeah,
that's my first question. How could you not know that you had a kid somewhere, man?
Right.
Hey, Darth, look at me in the eyes, man. You knew.
Right.
Come on, man. You knew. You know you had a son, man.
Yeah. I love that Topher cut his own version of Star Wars, and I haven't seen it, but did it have a lot of heavy Darth Vader in it? Did it sort of weave a lot of the villains in it?
Well, it's funny because most of those movies didn't have Darth Vader in it, right? Because he had the prequels, there was no Darth Vader.
Oh,
right. It was Anakin becoming Darth Vader. Right. So Anakin was this young prodigy who was supposed to be a promising and the right side of the Force, right? I think he was supposed to become this Jedi master. Yeah. And then he took a turn and chose the dark towards the end of the franchise. Yeah. Where, you know, they pretty much ended with him wearing that suit, right? And then the old school movies began. Right. So here's another flip on this game. You get a call from your agent. Yeah. And it says, Matt Reeves or James Gunn wants you to play the new Joker.
Right.
where do you begin in doing the homework for that? It's tough, right? Because you're like, Jesus Christ,
that's such a massive responsibility. I don't know. That's tough, right? Because like, what do? Do you watch everybody else's performance and then go, okay, let me not do that.
Let me not do that, right?
But as a human being, you absorb that as you watch it, right? So it's,
and as fans, then undeniably some of that marked us.
Yeah.
So and then also like how much do you include in your process the expectation the fans have for that character?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. Like I loved that Joaquin's was really grounded, right? It was really grounded, and he made very specific choices about who this guy was going to be, and they went with it, right? It wasn't like, well, so-and-so did that, so let me take that and build on that. He just kind of created his own thing, right? I felt like the only thing that was similar was like he had a laugh, you know? And that's been the through line, right? They all of those.
But even the laugh was rooted over a condition.
I thought that was so cool.
Very clever.
When he showed that card to like the kid in the bus, you know, I have this condition where I mean, that was just genius.
Yeah, but again, that world was built to support the becoming of a Joker.
Right.
But they call you and they're like, he's been Batman for 10 years.
Yeah.
And now here comes a Joker's been Joker for, I don't know, 5 of those.
What an immense responsibility, huh? Wow, how do you take that on?
Yeah,
and
like
have the courage to go, I'm putting myself out there like that.
Yeah.
Or like Jared Leto did it, right? Yeah.
I thought Jared did a pretty great job. I think that he should get more credit for that. I was hoping that he'd go a little bit more hip hop. If he played hip hop Joker for that type of movie, would have been.
Yeah.
He had the gold teeth, he had the chains, like he just played it like,
yeah,
I don't know, like Riff Raff or something like that. I think it could be really, not that, but I'm saying like the tone could have been an interesting thing. It would have been a different Joker and a really pop cultural one too. I mean, he did a phenomenal job. Yeah. I think that if he would have made a choice to go all the way hip hop, dude, the chains, the soundtrack, that could have been crazy too.
Yeah, no, that would have been an interesting choice. But what other villains, you know?
I like that you said Darth Vader. That's a very good one.
Yeah. Like, what other villains, you know, like, that I've been so enthralled with, right? That I would want to have them around a blunt table. I mean, real life villains? Are there real life villains that, you know?
Ooh, that's crazy.
Are there dictators? Are there
serial killers, maybe?
Like, you know? And ask the why of it all, right?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know, man.
In real life, I mean, so who in real life, is there like is that one of the serial killers that kind of has caught your attention, you know? And like, whoa, this story's pretty crazy. Some of them are just too sick to talk about.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I no, none that I would.
What about Jason? He never talked. So I feel like that'd be the most boring invite.
He'd just be sitting there.
Yeah, he'd just be sitting there like, bro, like the point is that you kind of like talk. You know, you're here to talk to us, you know?
Yeah.
Jason and Freddy. No, Freddy Krueger would be crazy.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger would be crazy. For those of you listening to this who don't know who Freddy Krueger is, do yourself a favor. Watch that first movie. And then, and good luck trying to sleep that night.
Yeah. Is there anyone like around the circle, like, and this is what, you know, you're so good at, right? Like, you're so good at interviewing people and getting down to the nitty gritty of the aspects that interest you. Is there someone that you haven't met or interviewed? They don't have to be a villain necessarily, but like someone that you've been like, I just want to like talk to this person and get into the psyche of this person and ask very specific questions so that I could learn from this person.
Yeah. Past or present?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a few people that I've been just kind of fascinated by their method of capturing stories. Like, I've always been inspired and fascinated by the toolkit that Quentin Tarantino has for character building.
Right.
And as an actor, he's one of my favorite screenplay writers. Just like he writes stuff that really is asking for you to be free.
Yeah.
You have to be so liberated in order to soar through his content because you can't be timid. Yeah. You got to step all the way down to play those. And there's a level. It's so funny. When you watch the movies, you're like, oh, this guy's making it look so easy.
Yeah.
But his writing is very supportive of going that far. And it's not like a character makes all these crazy choices and the dialogue is not there. The dialogue is taking you there as an actor.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually leading you into these choices, right? So I think that's one of the things that I think Quinn has done just so masterful, you know, and especially when he casts people, he really knows, I know their strengths. That's why you're here. Here is the dialogue. Go run with it. Like, go, you know? I mean, you can speak to that a lot better than me for sure. I mean, I definitely work with Robert, and Robert is also very good about casting. Yeah. You know, he knows how to put people on the right dialogue, you know? And those words, you know, you wear that stuff, you know? So I think Quinn would be one that has so many questions about character building, especially as someone who's like developing and producing stuff. Like, just like what are some of like step 1 and 2 of building a character that audiences are gonna go, that's either me, or like, man, I want to be like that, or I'm like, whoa, I didn't know a person like that could exist. Yeah. Which he's got a talent for taking you there.
Yeah, one of the most fascinating things I found by working with Quentin was what a movie savant he was. I remember one time we were at a table read or something, and Robert Rodriguez, by the way, was trying to make a reference to something or a movie. And he was like, oh man, it was this movie. He was trying to remember it. And then he said, Quentin, remember that movie that it was this and it was that? And he gave him like a few details. And Quentin said, oh, you're talking about this movie and it starred this actor and it came out this year and this person directed it.
Yeah, and this other actor was supposed to play the lead character, but then ended up not making it. Like, yeah, it's like that.
I was so blown away by he has this library in his brain of movie
music,
knowledge.
By the way.
Yeah.
Because he literally goes to his vinyl collection and like, this is the song.
Yeah.
You know, I want this song to play when the Cadillac is driving down the street.
Yeah, and you know, he's a big music fan too, right? So it's a combination of like him being this absolute music buff, music library with being a music aficionado, right? And knowing good music. Right. And you know, growing up in LA and being around people where you heard people of other ethnicities and other languages, and being able to incorporate all of that and just learning from the vast movies that you've seen.
You know, we should figure out how to have a little bit of a deep dive with either Quentin or Robert.
Oh yeah.
You know, we should invite them to the show and just like say, hey, let's just riff on movies. Let's talk about inspiration and stuff. Like, it'd be really great to have them on.
Yeah. Those guys, working with those guys was incredible.
I was just talking to Robert today.
I saw him last week.
Oh, cool. Where?
In Austin, at his house.
Oh, you went? Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And we were talking about doing this other thing together, and he was like, well, I'm in town, man. Come through. And so I came too. So
that's awesome.
We're there to go talk about this other thing.
Yeah. So him and I are also working on some stuff. I can't wait to tell you about. But yeah, it'd be great to have Robert here too. You know, Robert be such a great chat.
I think he'd do it, man.
Absolutely. We'll talk about that. Okay, Leo, what's the next thing we got?
Next up, who from Game of Thrones do you want at this table with everyone else?
From Game of Thrones, wow.
The dragon. Absolutely, the dragon.
I'd get Brian Cogman around the table, who is your friend, who you were so gracious to introduce me to.
That's my bro.
Who is an incredible writer. And we're both HBO alumni, and I've had wonderful conversations with him about Game of Thrones.
I told him the other day we should set up a dinner with all of us together.
I'd love to. Yeah. And his wife is lovely.
So, Mandy's so great. She's so talented, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they're together is not fair. But yeah, that would be a great invite because you also could learn so much about, the stuff that he did. He was the guy on set. He was the.
I mean,
he was one of the
he was in the thick of
ones.
it. He was in the thick of it. I told him this funny story. I was doing a movie with Sean Bean in the Ukraine around that time, and I was doing this other project at the same time, and I was like, I think it was on TV, and this was at a time when like actors were like, I don't want to do TV, maybe And so I go, hey Sean, man, you ever think about doing TV? He goes, yeah, I'd consider it if it's the right thing. And I started to tell him about the thing that I was doing and how I thought he'd be great in it. And he goes, well, I just did this thing for HBO. I don't know, man. It's supposed to have like dragons in it and all. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but yeah, I'd love to explore what you're talking about. I go, oh, you just work for HBO? He goes, yeah, man. I said I was there for.
I love how
5
clueless
years.
we all are.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're like, I don't know, man. I'm just happy to be working.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be any good. We just shot the pilot. I don't know. And then like a year later, Game of Thrones comes out, and it just
explodes.
Like,
It takes over the planet, quite literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Brian is one of those very special voices and writers. He's just on to do so many great things. I would say for me, from Game of Thrones, who?
Yeah, that's tough, man.
It's tough because every character is so good.
Or George R.R. Martin, like what? It was the first show I've ever seen where they had like incest, and like I was like, "What's the motive?" I never knew what the motivation was behind that.
I know. So there's two people, right? They kind of came, kind of went at the same time. Pedro Pascal.
Pedro. Yeah, man.
And like, do you even know what was gonna do for your career?
Crazy.
Like he just rolled in, so handsome, killing it on screen, just doing his thing, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
Like, kind of amazing. Same thing with Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa was in the first season.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Yeah, so these individuals have come through this show and have just done their thing.
Blowing it up.
And Momoa is also another great guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's an amazing dude, really cool dude, and I met him so many times and hung with him a few times throughout the years. And, we have a bunch of friends in common. Tadao Salima. Tadao Salima, I'm good friends with him and, worked with him for a few times. So he's a really good dude. But yeah, so that would be that for us on that. What do you think next?
Let's round it out with who do you want there to give you a good laugh?
Oh, a good laugh, like a funny person?
Yeah. Just to round it out.
A funny person. I think that Jim Carrey, right, and this is just sort of amazing. Like, I think he's a once in a lifetime comedian actor.
Totally.
I don't think we're going to see another one.
I love how you described him, comedian actor.
Yeah.
Because he was able to translate his tone into an actual narrative storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times a comedic is stuck in a role where he's just doing the punchlines in the movie.
Yeah.
And not technically telling the story. They always get paired up with somebody.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys who grabbed everything that was his strength and made it the actual character. And I think that was pretty brilliant.
I just think you see what he does, and I think he's light years ahead of people who are just fun. There's a lot of really, really funny people out there, but he's like in a category by himself, I think.
I like him a lot. For a good laugh, I think Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, yeah.
He tells some really funny stories.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like a pretty great. But I mean, if you're going to go like comedian, like you went with someone that prolific in comedy, I would probably say, I don't know. I'll go with the comic. Like, I think Kevin Hart is really fun. He's a really good dude. I just appreciate him and love him so much. He's always been a solid. Yeah. Like a solid dude. So he'd be an amazing hang because he's just such a good dude.
Yeah.
I think Russell Peters too. Russell Peters is hilarious. I remember he showed up to my birthday one time. He grabbed the microphone from the DJ booth and proceeded to roast everyone at my birthday. You know, and it was just
in real time.
In real time, hilarious. He goes, "Who are you guys? How do you know Wilmer? I'll tell you how you know Wilmer." And then he started, going around the room. But Russell Peters is one of my dearest friends. I went on a U.S. Soul tour with him, and we went to a lot of countries together. We entertained troops. And he did his set and absolutely roasted everyone, and it was hilarious. He's just, and also a really great guy and super talented.
Yeah, you know how I met at your Christmas party, Damon Wayans Jr.
Oh yeah, that's my guy.
I've been so impressed by his family, man, and the stuff that his family has done collectively, individually. Yeah, I just think they're so immensely talented.
Yeah. And Damon. Damon Jr. is going to work forever. Oh, he's also the next generation. He's like, the next chapter for that family. Yeah. You know, he's a producer. You know, he's a real comedian. He's out there at all the clubs doing the comedy thing. And then,
I didn't know that. I don't know he was doing this.
Oh yeah, he's at the Laugh Factory, and he also tours all the time. He goes to I'm gonna be in Dallas, Texas, on Saturday, or I'm gonna be in like Jacksonville, blah blah blah. He's out there traveling and doing the comic route, and he's really growing as that. And then he's also doing all kinds of stuff and producing and starting his own shows. And he also has the first studio, CBS Studios, for producing, and it's it's made a lot of stuff over there.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah, that show he had with his father, right? I mean, how brilliant.
Papa's House.
How brilliant was that?
Yeah, they're just great.
I just think his whole family is so immensely talented, man. And there's something about their energy and the way they carry themselves.
Yeah, Marlon is another great hang. He's a beautiful person, great guy, so supportive. So he shows up. He's just another really good one, one of the good ones. But yeah, I mean,
Robin Williams, right? Like,
just
other
Williams,
other planet.
Robin Williams. Like if we're gonna just invite one person,
I mean,
like Robin Williams.
I think he's kind of like Jim Carrey, like in his own planet. Like,
and he's on. Blah, 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 blah. He's just he's going in. But rest in peace, Robin Williams. Yeah. No one did it better than him.
Right.
I mean, the dude was winning Oscars, bro.
Yeah.
It's pretty unbelievable. I would say Robin Williams wins any of those. Right. I think he also played. Didn't he play a villain in? He did that movie.
The Christopher Nolan movie with Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Insomnia.
Yes. So he could be one of the villains, right? He definitely can be one of those comedic actors. And
1 Hour Photo he did.
Yes, 1 Hour Photo. That's what I was thinking about. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's really great. But we love to hear you guys' thoughts, right? We'd like to hear everybody who listened to this story. Come in and comment, send us your thoughts, send us your ideas. But I thank you for sticking with us for another episode of Dos Amigos. I'm Wilmer Valderrama.
I'm Freddy Rodriguez.
And I'll see you on the next episode.